Man, I started out in the street when I was like 11, 12. My older brother, I don't deal with him no more because he raised me to be the man that I am. And he didn't stand up to be the man that he raised me to be. You know, that he had me thinking he was, you know? He ain't tell on nothing, you know what I mean? Definitely not that, you know what I mean? But, you know, I was raised from the cloth that when you go out there, you make sure you got all your tools, you know what I mean? If you're gonna be a gardener, you're gonna have your rake, you're gonna have your hoe, and you're gonna have your trash bags, you know, your shovel, you got everything to garden, you know what I mean? You're gonna go out there to sell drugs, make sure you got the best drugs, make sure you got the best packaging, you know what I mean, which is marketing, you know what I mean? And then as far as, you know, you gotta have your weapons to protect yourself, not to go use on nobody, just to make sure another man don't try and take nothing from you. So, you know what I mean? You go out there, you wanna hustle. You know, the cloth I came from, I had to get my vest, had to get my bullets, had to get my gun, and I had to just know that if somebody get in my lane, I gotta do what I gotta do. But in the same time, if I allow somebody to get in my lane and they make me crash because of my actions by feeding into them, you know what I mean? Then now I gotta, you know, deal with what I created. You know what I mean? Because I created that by dealing with them. You know what I mean? So I can't blame them saying, oh, he told on me, he made me this, he made me that. Nah, no man can't make me do nothing that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm doing is what I want to do. So if I'm doing what I want to do, whatever consequences come with that, I was raised that that's what come with that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've seen dudes, okay, I'm going to give you a good example. You know, when I was younger, dude took me, wanted to go do a robbery. We in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? He tell me, you Jamaican, you know, but I'm American. I know this club. It's an American club. We could go in there. You know what I mean? As soon as we pull the guns out, nobody carry guns. We're going to be able to do our thing. And, you know, we could rob the whole joint. They got plenty of money in there because they get paid on Friday night. And sure enough, I run up in there with dude, you know what I mean? Pull the gun out. Everybody get on the ground. Get on the ground. Nobody move. You know what I mean? So now when I'm looking around for my man, I don't see him. Like, where he at? You know what I mean? He on the ground. I'm like, dude, what you doing on the ground? You know what I mean? He ignoring me. You know what I'm saying? So I said, man, screw that. I had to move quick. So I grabbed what I could without getting too deep in the joint to not be able to get back out. And then made it up out there, got away with, you know, my riches. You know what I mean? About an hour later, you know, dude come by my house and he's like, yo, how much did we get? How much did we get? You know what I mean? He said, yeah, I'll put you on the lick. I said, nah, you put me on the lick and told me that we was going on the lick. He said, we did go on the lick. I said, okay, but where was you at? He said, man, I had to make it look good, so I got down on the ground when you said get on the ground. I said, oh, so I'm supposed to pay you for getting on the ground. You know what I mean? He said, yeah, because I put you on the lick. I said, but what was our arrangement? He said, man, that we was gonna go in there and we was gonna rob them. I said, Key, rob and we. You didn't help me rob them, so you get nothing. Now get out my face before I bust you in your face. You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, your actions, you know, is what's gonna give you your reward or your penalty. You know what I mean? And whatever comes with it, you gotta be man enough to take it. You know what I mean? And that's the cloth that I was raised from. You know what I mean? When I was selling weed, you know what I mean? For my older brother and then when I was 12, 13 years old, they told me anybody you sell to, just don't give it nothing to the white man with blonde hair and blue eyes because they the devil and they the police. That's all we knew. Blonde hair and blue eyes was a cop. Black hair, they all right. But blonde hair, blue eyes, but this is the mentality coming from Jamaica. The Jamaicans is telling us. You understand what I'm saying? So now we don't know no damn better. You know what I mean? But we taught that if they come and we make a mistake and we sell to the wrong one, they bust you, you wear the weight. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You got caught. Don't tell. I'm gonna come get you out of jail if I could come get you, if there's a bail, and if you gotta do time, I'm gonna take care of you while you in there. You know what I mean? So that when you come out, you all right, and your kids all right, and such and such and such and such. That's how my brother raised me.
You just got home, so it's a different world now.
It's a completely different world, you know what I mean? I ain't tripping, you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I was gonna get here. I just didn't know when, you know what I mean? And I knew it was only one way to get here, and that was the right way out of court. So I just took my time. Now I'm out here. It took me 26 years to get here. Trust me, that was no walk in the park. So I'm not in no hurry or in no race, you know what I mean, to go see what's going on. So I've been out about a week, not even a week, 4 or 5 days, you know what I mean? I've been out the house 3 times. I'm not in no hurry to go nowhere. I'm just chilling, you know what I mean? It feels great to be out here. I'm enjoying the gadgets. I'm enjoying my kids, you know what I mean? I'm enjoying my woman, taking it for what it is, man. You know, life is beautiful. You know, don't rush nothing. You know what I mean? Don't speed on nothing. And you ain't got to trip on nothing. You know what I mean? Because in the long run, we're going to get where we got to go as long as we go on a straight path. You know what I mean? I made a lot of curves along the way because, you know, I did a thing that they call mollifying in psychology. Mollifying is when you make an excuse for something that you know is wrong to make it sound right to you, to justify why you're doing the wrong that you're doing. You know what I mean? I grew up on that. I was raised that way. You know what I mean? And I didn't see nothing wrong with it. But after taking my little psychology classes, rehabilitation classes and things like that, you know, I had to break it down. Then I looked, damn, I'm always making excuses for my wrongs. You know what I mean? I ain't looking for no sympathy, you know, and never look for none. But it's just, you know, just like, okay, I'm gonna give you a good example. Back in the day, pregnant woman come by crack, everybody say, who got the biggest jumbos? Everybody run it down. Ain't nobody talking about she pregnant, they not giving it to her. You know what I mean? Then you ask them, even ask me back then. Say, man, shit, if I don't give it to her, the next person gonna give it to her. You know what I mean? And they're gonna sell the crack. You know, she gonna smoke it if she wanna smoke it. Whether she get it from me or not, that's mollifying. You know what I mean? I'm trying to justify my wrong. You know what I mean? Just like I give you another one. I seen homeboys selling crack to their mothers, their aunts, their uncles. You know what I mean? And you sit there and you ask them, dog, that's your mother, that's your aunt, that's your uncle. And you know what they tell you? Say, man, if I don't give it to her, the next nigga gonna give it to her. So I might as well give it to her. You know what I mean? That's mollifying. You know what I mean? My mother done mollified a lot growing up. Mom tell me, man, if you're gonna smoke weed or whatever, you're gonna have sex, have it in the house, smoke in the house, do it in the house, because I don't want everybody else knowing about it. You know what I mean? And talking about what we doing out there and so on and so on. Instead of just saying, nigga, don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't smoke weed, again, need to have no sex, relax, get your education right, look at your future and so on and so on. But mom's mollified to make her parenting easy growing up. And I'm sure mothers of today do it too, but all that is mollifying. You know what I mean? Mollifying is just making an excuse for what's wrong to make it sound right so that you can sleep good at night. You know what I mean? Just like, let's speak on a good one. You got everybody worrying about who hot, who telling, who this, who that. I ain't never told on nobody, but I don't need no kudos for that. You know what I mean? Because it ain't nothing special to not tell. Because you're just not supposed to tell. You know what I mean? So for a man to sit there and say, oh, I ain't tell, so, you know, I'm a man. Nah, you ain't got to say that. If you ain't tell because you're a man, you shut the fuck up and just do what you do. And you know in your heart, you did what was right. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need to tell everybody that I didn't tell, I'm a man. Because niggas that do that to me, that's to me. You know, another one of my psychology rehabilitation classes, take responsibilities for yourself. To me, that's a nigga that's faking. You know what I mean? He on the verge of telling. So he trying to talk himself into not telling or that he didn't tell. But you know, bottom line, nigga, you about to go tell something. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna let that motherfucker see me doing nothing. You know what I mean? It's what it is. You know what I mean? Not saying I'm gonna go do nothing wrong, but not saying everything I do is gonna be right. You know what I mean? In my eyes, it's gonna be right. You know what I mean? But to the next person, or even to the law, it might be wrong. So therefore, I gotta sit there, take my time and move around and make sure I do what's right in my heart. And I know what's right, period, by the law, because I know the laws, they ain't with me, they definitely against me. And if I go out there and I go walk across the street backwards, you know what I mean, without going to the corner stop line, they give me a jaywalking. But a nigga like me, they'll lock me back up for a violation. You know what I mean? Because they never wanted to let me out, you know? But the trick is on them. I made it out.